Welcome back, folks, to Investor Diaries. Today, we wanted to discuss an important topic that's garnered a lot of airtime over the past year and a half, and that is the semiconductor shortage. We all know that semiconductors are used in a wide variety of products ranging from electronics to automobiles, and we'll discuss all about the shortage in this video.
So what's really happening with the semis? A look at this graph shows that the number of times chip shortage has been mentioned in the past in various media, whether it's print or television. Semiconductors have been in a short supply due to a variety of reasons, some from the supply side and some from the demand side as well. From a supply side, during the pandemic, some of these semiconductor fabs and many of the manufacturers of the components, the equipment and materials used to manufacture semiconductors experienced shutdowns and slowdowns. This resulted in lower productions, and that had contributed to this shortage. From a demand side, many of the customers of the semiconductor chips reduced their orders on chips during early days of the pandemic, as they expected reduced demand for their products. Now, when the economy began to recover, supply could not keep up with this demand. This in supply chain is typically known as the bullwhip effect, where there is a sudden surge in demand and the supply could just not keep up with this demand.
I remember when the PS5 or the Sony PlayStation 5 was launched last year, a lot of people couldn't get it, and the reason was simple, that there's a big semiconductor shortage.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's speak about what are these consequences, and we'll speak about it from the supply side first and then the demand side. So on the supply side, semiconductor manufacturers are already adding more and more capacity to meet future projections, and executives on the supply side of this semiconductor business, they've begun to speculate on when this shortage, which kind of emerged towards the end of 2020, will ease. As of now, the jury is still out as to when this semiconductor shortage will end. So I kind of think that it's fair to conclude that this semiconductor shortage is going to take a while, and we'll be in this situation for some time.
Yeah, I agree. It's not something that's going to resolve soon.
Yeah, and Nitish, on the demand side, on the contrary, automakers have specifically been impacted by the shortage, with companies like GM and Ford reducing or even halting the production of certain vehicles. And you keep hearing it in the news about automakers, and Lam Research, in fact, has also been at the forefront of speaking about this semiconductor.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even Elon Musk from Tesla has also commented about the semiconductor shortage and how it's going to impact their production units as well.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting space to watch out over the next year as to how it gets resolved, and when it gets resolved, what's the pricing looking like for the products that extensively use semiconductors. Smartphones have so far been mostly shielded from this fallout thanks to manufacturers like Apple and Samsung stockpiling the most critical components. Some of these chips have been used for crypto mining as well, and the boom in the crypto mining space has further contributed to the increased demand, because Nitish, the way I look at it, as more and more time is passing, as we come up with more and more new and innovative products, I think the use of semiconductors has just ballooned.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's semiconductors are in almost every product that we use at this point. Whether it is coffee makers, whether it's refrigerators, more and more as we go forward, semiconductors usage has been increasing, and also semiconductors have been growing smaller and smaller in size too, becoming more powerful. They packing more units into a smaller space. So now let's take a look at the key stocks that are going to benefit from this semiconductor shortage. As American companies battle for scarce resources, investors have an easier task dealing with the shortage, essentially finding the dealers tasked with helping this industry catch up. Let's look at different aspects of this value chain. First, equipment makers. The first one is ASML Holding, and this is the most obvious answer. The company is the only maker of the extreme ultraviolet lithography technology used to print advanced chips. but its stock trades at a lofty 45 times earnings. There are two more affordable options in this space, which is Applied Materials, ticker symbol AMAT, and Lam Research, ticker symbol LRCX. Both stocks trade about 20 times earnings estimates for the next 12 months. That is below the S&P index's multiple of 22 and 23 average for the PHLX semiconductor index.
So let's speak about chip designers. Fabless chip makers design their own chips but outsource the production to third-party foundries. These chip makers, which include giants like Nvidia, AMD and Qualcomm, they adopt this model because it's become too expensive to mass produce these advanced chips on their own. Chip designers license their designs to other chip makers instead of manufacturing any chips themselves. The industry's most important chip maker is arguably ARM Holdings, which provides designs for most of the world's best mobile chips. That's why Nvidia has planned the acquisition of ARM, and it's become controversial because of a whole host of regulatory reasons, and there are a lot of other semiconductor companies which are against this deal to happen because that might turn Nvidia into some sort of a monopoly. And finally, let's talk about foundries. So third-party foundries do the heavy lifting for fabless chip makers. TSMC and Samsung are the world's two most advanced contract chip makers. But Intel is trying to catch up with aggressive investments in this third-party foundry services as well. These leading foundries represent bottlenecks in the semiconductor market, and the chip shortage won't be resolved until they expand their capacity.
Yeah, and we've been hearing a lot in the news that US government has made it their priority to invest in the space and expand and reduce the American dependency on the foundries that are located in the Asia Pacific region. So to conclude, if you ask us to pick one company from each aspect of this value chain that we talk about, based on our research, the biggest gains to see would be Applied Materials from the equipment maker side, TSM from the foundry side, and from the chip design side, it would be Nvidia, AMD, or Qualcomm. Among these, TSM would be the most aggressive or risky investment simply because of the geopolitical risks associated with Taiwan, right? Taiwan has been under the crosshairs because of its relationship with China and its relationship with the US. Applied Materials and Qualcomm would be rated as neutral, and Nvidia and AMD, as you know, are the favorites on this channel. Both have significant deals underway, ARM for Nvidia and Xilinx for AMD, which should catapult them to be the leading two giants in this semiconductor space.
So this is it, folks. I hope you liked the content about semiconductor shortage. Feel free to let us know what are your favorite semiconductor stocks, or is there an ETF in the semiconductor space that you're particularly bullish on? And as always, feel free to subscribe to this channel. It really helps us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.